Hi everybody, I am here with a new review of a book that I finished last week and I just ate it up because it was so good. And that book is Winger by Andrew Smith. I read it in 4 days and so good. So good. So Winger is a boarding school book. It's about a boy named Ryan Dean West who is 14 years old, but he's going into his 11th grade of high school because he's a lot smarter than the average 14-year-old. That also means that he feels like an outsider most of the time just because everybody looks at him and sees him as the adorable kid. At the start of Winger, we see that Ryan Dean West has gotten himself into a bit of trouble and he's made his way into O Hall, which is where all of the delinquents go and stay during the year. And so the rest of the story sort of follows Ryan Dean and his adventures rooming with somebody he doesn't really like, the girl that he is completely in love with, and also the new friendships and enemies that he makes throughout the year. It's a fantastic boarding school book, chock full of high school drama, but not to the point that it gets a little ridiculous. But Ryan Dean does go through a lot of stuff just because he has the worst luck sometimes. This book is hilarious. I loved reading it. It made me laugh, especially when I was reading it on public transit, and I would smile to myself, and then I would realize that people were looking at me. I loved being in Ryan Dean's head, despite him being a hormonal 14-year-old boy. What I loved is that Ryan Dean has a lot of faults, but the author, Andrew Smith, doesn't just let that slide. He doesn't just let that sort of happen. No, he gets other characters, including Ryan Dean himself, to call Ryan Dean out. Joey. Joey is just the ultimate nice guy, but he is a genuine nice guy. He's definitely that person that you want in your life to tell you to get your life on track, and somebody who's really got his head on straight, you know? If there's something I could change in Winger, it's just that there would have been more time learning about Joey's background. There are a lot of hints and starting moments from those, but I guess from the limited perspective of Ryan Dean, we don't get that whole story. We'll see if that comes into play in the sequel. Oh. Now Chazz Becker. He grew on me. I was afraid that he was going to be this guy who just, ripped up Ryan Dean all the time, which was not a character that I was going to be interested in. But Chazz surprisingly has a lot of depths to him. I feel for him for a little bit in there. Yeah, okay. The whole situation with JP just reminded me about the petty drama in high school, that despite whatever simplistic origins it had, it still had weight. So I found that really interesting, and I think the way that story resolved itself by the end was very realistic and it made a lot of sense. Shawnee! What? Shawnee is such a weirdo. I did not know anybody like that in high school, but he's such a character. Oh, he's really funny to read because he's just so random. Now we get to the story of Ryan Dean and Annie. Oh, I can often be a sucker for romantic plot lines in books, but they have to be done well, and I think that Andrew Smith did it really well in this with Annie. Though I really wish that Annie was a little bit more developed. We got a few windows into what she's like, that she makes sculptures and art at home, and then maybe her home life was a little bit strained before boarding school, but I want more in the sequel. I really hope that there's more Annie so that I can know the details of why the heck Ryan Dean really loves this girl. But yeah, there are some really great moments between Ryan Dean and Annie that just sort of made my heart flutter. That is the only way that I can describe it, that my heart fluttered. If you've watched any other videos on Winger before, then you know that there's something that happens in the end of the book. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but when that happened, I was in a state of shock. I read that passage again 2 or 3 times right after reading it the first time because it just didn't compute. It didn't compute in my mind. I think there's obviously a lot more to love in this book than just the ending. I wouldn't love this book as much if it was just the ending that was phenomenal. It's going to be one of those books that I'm just going to be recommending to anybody left and right. Oh, have you read Winger by Andrew Smith? Because you should. If you have any other suggestions of books that are similar that you think that I might like after reading Winger, leave those suggestions down below because I would love to read something similar to Winger and love that book too, hopefully. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will be back next time with a video all about me and asking some random questions just so you learn a little bit more about me. Okay, bye!